The first lie Hart detected wasn't someone else's. It was his own. He was 16, sitting across from his mother at the kitchen table. She'd asked him where he was the night before. He'd said, studying at Connor's house. The moment the words left his mouth, something happened. A sensation. Physical. Like static electricity running down his spine. Not painful. Not pleasant. Just present. Undeniable. A marker that what he'd just said wasn't true. Dylan had actually been at a party. Drinking. Smoking weed in someone's basement. The kind of night his mother would have grounded him for until graduation. But the lie had come out smooth. Practiced. He'd been lying to his parents for years. About grades. About where he went. About who he was becoming. This time was different. This time, his body knew. "You sure?" his mother asked. Her voice had that tone. The one that said she didn't quite believe him but didn't have proof. "Yeah," Dylan said. "Just studying." The static hit again. Stronger this time. Like his nervous system was screaming at him to stop talking. His mother watched him for another moment. Then nodded. Just making sure. She went back to her coffee. Dylan sat there, his hands shaking slightly, trying to understand what had just happened. It kept happening. Every time Dylan lied, the static fired. Every time someone else lied to him, it fired differently. Sharper. More localized. Like his brain could suddenly distinguish between his own bullshit and everyone else's. He tested it over the next week. In class, when his history teacher said she'd have their tests graded by Friday, Dylan felt the spike. She was lying. The tests weren't even close to graded. At lunch, when Connor said he was cool with Dylan talking to his ex-girlfriend. Static. Connor was absolutely not cool with it. At home, when his father said he wasn't drinking anymore. Strong spike. The vodka was in the garage behind the paint cans. And worst of all, when Dylan looked in the mirror and told himself he was fine. That he had everything under control. That he didn't need help. The static screamed so loud he had to sit down. Dylan realized something terrifying. Everyone lied. Constantly. About everything. And now he could hear it all. The ability had rules. Dylan mapped them carefully over the next month. The detection was involuntary. He couldn't turn it off. Every lie within earshot triggered the response. Busy hallways at school were torture. Dozens of voices. Dozens of lies. His nervous system lighting up like a pinball machine. The sensation was specific. His own lies felt different from others. His created a crawling feeling down his spine. Others' lies hit like small electric shocks in his chest. He could distinguish between people if he concentrated. Each liar had a slightly different signature. The range was limited. About 30 feet. Beyond that, the signal got too weak to register. Crowded spaces were manageable if he kept moving. Standing still in one place meant getting hit with everything. And the ability didn't distinguish between types of lies. Big lies. Little lies. White lies. Self-deception. It all registered the same. His body didn't care about intent or morality. Only about the gap between what was said and what was true. Dylan started wearing headphones everywhere. Not listening to music. Just blocking out conversations. Reducing the input. It helped. Barely. Dylan Hart was 16 years old. Junior at Roosevelt High in Portland. Average student. Average athlete. Average kid from an average family slowly falling apart in average ways. His parents were getting divorced. They hadn't announced it yet. But Dylan knew. He'd heard the arguments. Seen the lawyer's business card in his mother's purse. Watched his father move his stuff to the guest room piece by piece. They lied to him about it constantly. "Everything's fine," his mother would say. Static spike. "We're just working through some things," his father would say. Another spike. "We still love each other," they'd say together. The biggest spike of all. Dylan wanted to scream. Wanted to tell them he knew. That he could feel every lie like a physical assault. But he didn't. Because if he told them about the ability, they'd worry. They'd take him to doctors. Therapists. Maybe hospitals. They'd make it about him when it was really about them. So Dylan kept quiet. And the lies piled up. The breaking point came at school. Dylan was in the cafeteria when he heard Megan Parker talking to her friends. Megan was popular, pretty, the kind of girl who'd never looked at Dylan twice. She was telling them about her weekend, about the college party she went to, about the guy she hooked up with, about how great it was. Dylan felt the static. Insistent. She was lying. About all of it. He didn't mean to say anything. Didn't mean to get involved. But the words came out anyway. That's not true. Megan stopped mid-sentence. Turned to look at him. What? What you just said. It's not true. Her friends were staring. Dylan's own friends were staring. The whole table had gone quiet. How would you know? Megan asked. Her voice had an edge to it. I can tell. You can tell? She laughed. But it was forced. Defensive. You don't know anything about me. I know you're lying. About the party. About the guy. All of it. Megan's face went red. Then white. Fuck you, Dylan. She grabbed her tray and left. Her friends followed. The cafeteria slowly returned to normal volume. Connor leaned over. Dude. What was that? Nothing. Static spike. Dylan was lying and he knew it. Connor knew it too. That wasn't nothing. You just embarrassed Megan in front of everyone. She was lying. So? Everyone lies. You don't call people out like that. Dylan wanted to explain. Wanted to tell Connor about the ability. About how he could not know when people were lying. About how it was driving him insane. Instead he said, You're right. I shouldn't have said anything. Another spike. Dylan wasn't sorry. Not really. Part of him had enjoyed it. Enjoyed watching Megan's face when she realized he knew. That scared him more than anything. Word spread fast. By the end of the day, everyone knew Dylan Hart had called out Megan Parker for lying. Some people thought it was funny. Others thought he was an asshole. Most just stayed away from him. Dylan's phone blew up with messages. Some supportive. Most not. Megan's boyfriend, a senior named Brad, cornered Dylan after school. You got a problem with my girlfriend? No. Static. Dylan did have a problem. But not with Megan specifically. With everyone. With the constant lies he couldn't escape. Then why'd you embarrass her? I didn't mean to. Another spike. He'd absolutely meant to. Or part of him had. Brad pushed him. You think you're smart? Think you can just say whatever you want? Dylan could have backed down. Should have backed down. Brad was bigger. Stronger. Had friends nearby. Instead, Dylan said, she wasn't at a college party. She was home watching Netflix because her parents grounded her. The guy she hooked up with doesn't exist. She made it all up to impress her friends. Brad's expression shifted. Confusion. Then anger. How do you? I just know. Brad hit him. Solid punch to the jaw. Dylan went down. Tasted blood. Heard someone yelling. A teacher maybe. Brad walked away. Dylan lay on the concrete, his face throbbing, wondering why he'd said anything at all. The school suspended both of them for 3 days. Dylan's parents were furious. Disappointed. Concerned. All the emotions parents perform when their kid gets in a fight. What were you thinking? His mother asked. I don't know. Static. Dylan knew exactly what he'd been thinking. That if everyone else could lie constantly, why couldn't he expose them for it? Why was he the only one who had to carry the weight of knowing the truth? This isn't like you, his father said. How would you know? Dylan shot back. You barely talk to me anymore. His father's face hardened. Watch your tone. Or what? You'll move into a different room? Oh wait, you already did that. His mother stood up. Dylan, that's enough. Is it? Because from where I'm sitting, both of you have been lying to me for months. About the divorce. About why Dad's sleeping in the guest room. About everything. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. His father recovered first. We're not getting divorced. The spike hit Dylan like a punch. The biggest lie yet. So blatant. So desperate. Yes, you are, Dylan said quietly. I can tell. I always can. Dylan. Just stop. Please. Stop lying to me. I know you're getting divorced. I know Mom already talked to a lawyer. I know Dad's been looking at apartments. I know everything. Because I can feel it. Every time you lie. Every single time. His parents stared at him. His mother's eyes were wet. His father looked like he'd been slapped. How long have you known? His mother asked finally. About the divorce? 3 months. About the lying? My whole life. But now I can actually prove it. They sent him to therapy. Dr. Rachel Moss. Licensed psychologist. Mid-40s. Kind eyes. Patient voice. The kind of therapist who'd heard everything and wasn't easily shocked. Dylan sat in her office and felt the static fire constantly. So you believe you can detect lies? Dr. Moss asked. I don't believe it. I can. And how does that work? I feel it. Like static electricity. Down my spine when I lie. In my chest when others lie. Dr. Moss made notes. Have you always had this ability? No. Started about 2 months ago. Around the same time you became aware of your parents' marital problems? I knew about those before the ability showed up. But the ability intensified your awareness? Dylan saw where this was going. You think I'm imagining it? That it's stress or anxiety manifesting as a physical sensation. I think trauma can affect how we process information. It's not trauma. Your parents are getting divorced. You're struggling at school. You got into a physical altercation. These are significant stressors. I know, but the ability is real. Static. Dylan believed that completely. No spike. Dr. Moss watched him. What if I told you I think your ability is real? I'd ask why you're lying. She paused. I'm not lying. Yes, you are. You don't believe me. You think I'm delusional or processing trauma or something. But you're lying when you say you believe me. Dr. Moss was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, You're right. I don't believe you have a supernatural ability to detect lies. But I do believe you believe it. And I want to help you understand why. Dylan stood up. This was a waste of time. Dylan, everyone lies. Including therapists. I'm done pretending that's okay. He walked out. The suspension ended. Dylan went back to school. Everyone treated him differently now. Like he was fragile, dangerous, unpredictable. Megan avoided him. Brad's friends gave him looks but kept their distance. Even Connor seemed uncomfortable around him. Dylan spent lunch alone. Headphones in. Head down. Trying to minimize contact. That's when Maya Chin sat down across from him. Maya was a senior. Quiet, smart. The kind of person who existed on the periphery of social circles without really belonging to any of them. You can actually tell, can't you? She said. Dylan looked up. Tell what? When people lie. It's not an act. You actually know. Dylan waited for the spike. For the telltale sign that she was mocking him or setting him up for something. Nothing. She was telling the truth. How do you know? Dylan asked. Because I've been watching you. The way you react. The timing. You flinch before people finish sentences. Like you know what they're going to say is false before they even say it. Dylan took off his headphones. Why do you care? Because I think you're telling the truth. And if you are, I need your help. Maya's brother had died 6 months ago. Car accident. That's what the police said. That's what the news reported. Single vehicle crash on I-84. Lost control. Hit a barrier. Died instantly. But Maya didn't believe it. David was the safest driver I knew. He was obsessive about it. Checked his tires. Never drove in bad weather. Never drove tired. Accidents happen, Dylan said. I know. But the police report doesn't make sense. They said he was going 90 miles per hour. David never sped. Not once. What do you think happened? I think someone forced him off the road. I think it wasn't an accident. And I think the detective who investigated is lying about something. Dylan felt the spike. Faint but present. Maya believed what she was saying, but part of it wasn't quite true. She was holding something back. What aren't you telling me? Dylan asked. Maya's eyes widened slightly. How did you? I can tell. You believe your brother was killed. But there's something else. Something you're not saying. Maya was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, David called me the night he died. Said he needed to tell me something. Something about his job. He worked for a tech company. Data analysis. He said he'd found something in the company files. Something illegal. He was going to report it. And he died 4 hours later. Dylan felt no spike. Maya believed this completely. You think his company killed him? I think someone did. And I think the detective who closed the case knows more than he's saying. But I can't prove it. I'm just his sister. Nobody listens to me. So why tell me? Because you can tell when people are lying. If I can get you in a room with Detective Morris, you'll know if he's hiding something. Dylan should have said no. Should have walked away. This wasn't his problem. He had enough to deal with. But for the first time since the ability manifested, someone was asking him to use it for something that mattered. Okay, Dylan said. I'll help. They met Detective Morris at a coffee shop. Maya had set it up. Told him she had new information about her brother's case. The detective had agreed to meet, probably out of obligation more than interest. He was in his 50s. Tired eyes. Wedding ring. The kind of cop who'd seen too much and stopped caring decades ago. Ms. Chun, he said, sitting down. What can I do for you? This is my friend Dylan. He wanted to hear about the investigation. Morris looked at Dylan. Why? I'm helping Maya with closure, Dylan said. We just want to understand what happened. No spike. Dylan wasn't lying. He did want to understand. Morris sighed. I've been through this with your family. Your brother lost control of his vehicle. There's no evidence of foul play. No other vehicles involved. No mechanical failure. It was a tragic accident. Dylan felt it immediately. Multiple spikes. Morris was lying about several things. You're sure no other vehicles were involved? Dylan asked. Positive. We checked traffic cameras. Witness statements. Nothing. Another spike. Stronger. What about his phone records? Maya asked. Did you check who he called before the accident? We reviewed them. Nothing unusual. Dylan leaned forward. You're lying. About all of it. There was another vehicle. You didn't check traffic cameras thoroughly. And his phone records showed something you're covering up. Morris's expression hardened. Excuse me? I can tell when people lie. And you're lying about David's death. Why? This conversation is over. Morris stood up. Sit down, Dylan said. His voice was calm but firm. Or I'll go to the news. Tell them the detective investigating David Chen's death is lying about key evidence. Morris sat down slowly. His jaw was tight. You don't know what you're talking about. Then tell me the truth. For a long moment, Morris said nothing. Then, quietly, there was another vehicle. Black SUV. We found paint transfer on David's car. But we can't pursue it. Why not? Because the SUV was registered to Axiom Technologies. David's employer. And Axiom has lawyers. Good ones. They made it very clear that pushing the investigation would be complicated. So you closed the case, Maya said. Her voice was shaking. You let them get away with killing my brother because it was easier than fighting. I'm sorry, but I have a pension. A family. I can't fight corporations. No spike. Morris actually was sorry. He was just more scared than sorry. Dylan felt sick. This was what the ability had shown him. Everyone was lying. But some lies were worse than others. Some lies got people killed. Maya wanted to go to the press. Dylan convinced her to wait. We need proof. Real proof. Morris's testimony won't hold up. He'll deny everything. So what do? We get into Axiom. Find the evidence David found. Use it to force the truth out. How? Dylan thought about it. You said David was data analysis. He would have stored his findings somewhere. Cloud storage. Personal email. Something. The police checked his devices. But they didn't know what they were looking for. We do. They broke into David's apartment that night. Maya had a key. The place had been untouched since his death. His family couldn't bring themselves to clear it out yet. Dylan went through David's laptop while Maya searched his desk. He found it in an encrypted folder. Financial records. Internal emails. Proof that Axiom Technologies was manipulating user data illegally, selling information to third parties, violating privacy laws on a massive scale. David had documented everything, had been about to go to the SEC. "This is it," Dylan said. "This is what got him killed." Maya looked at the screen. Her hands were shaking. "What do we do with it?" "We take it to the FBI." The FBI took the case seriously. They raided Axiom within a week, arrested 3 executives, seized servers. The scandal made national news. David Chen's death was reopened as a homicide investigation. Detective Morris was suspended pending review. The black SUV was traced to Axiom's security contractor. Maya's brother was dead, but at least now people knew why. Dylan testified at the hearings, explained how he detected Morris's lies, how that had led them to investigate further. The defense attorneys tried to discredit him, called his ability pseudoscience, argued his testimony was unreliable. But the evidence spoke for itself. David's files, the paint transfer, the security contractors suddenly missing vehicle records. The truth came out, not because of Dylan's ability alone, but because the ability had pointed them in the right direction. The case made Dylan famous. Local news famous. Articles about the teen lie detector who'd helped solve a murder. His school treated him differently now. Not as a freak, as something else. Special. Useful. Dylan hated it, because the attention meant more people wanting to test him, to use him, to prove he was real or prove he was fake. And every interaction meant more lies, more spikes, more confirmation that everyone around him was performing rather than being honest. The FBI reached out. Agent Wilson, same guy who'd recruited Derek, Ethan, and Marcus. He offered Dylan a position in the close call unit once he turned 18. "Your ability could prevent crimes, identify criminals, save lives." Dylan felt the spike. Wilson believed what he was saying, but there was something else. Something about control. About using Dylan as a tool rather than treating him as a person. "I'm 16, Dylan said. "I'm not joining anything." "When you're older then, think about it." Dylan didn't need to think about it. He'd already decided. The ability wasn't a gift. It was a curse. And he wasn't going to spend his life weaponizing it for people who'd just lie to him in different ways. His parents finalized the divorce 3 months later. They stopped lying about it, started being honest. It didn't make things better. Honesty without love was just brutal clarity. His mother got the house. His father moved to an apartment downtown. Dylan split time between them. Neither place felt like home. Maya graduated, got a scholarship to Berkeley, hugged Dylan before she left. "Thank you," she said, "for believing me, for helping me find the truth. I'm sorry about your brother." "Me too. But at least now I know. That's worth something." Dylan wondered if it was. If knowing the truth was actually better than living in comfortable lies. He still didn't have an answer. Senior year was different. Dylan's reputation preceded him. The kid who could tell when you were lying. Some people avoided him. Others tried to befriend him, thinking it would protect them somehow. Connor stopped talking to him. Too uncomfortable. Too many lies between them that Dylan could see clearly now. Dylan dated a girl named Rachel for 2 months. It fell apart the first time she asked if he loved her and he said yes. The spike was immediate, undeniable. He didn't love her. He liked her, cared about her. But love? He didn't know what that felt like anymore. Didn't know if he was capable of it when he could feel every small deception in a relationship. Rachel could tell something was wrong. "You're lying." "I know." "Then why say it?" "Because that's what you wanted to hear. And I wanted to make you happy." "By lying?" "Everyone lies. I just know when I'm doing it." She broke up with him that night. Dylan didn't blame her. Graduation came. Dylan finished with a 3.2 GPA. Good enough for state school. Not good enough for anywhere he actually wanted to go. His mother cried at the ceremony. His father shook his hand stiffly. Both told him they were proud. No spikes. They actually meant it. Small comfort. Dylan moved into a dorm at Portland State that fall. Declared a major in psychology. Figured if he was going to be surrounded by lies, he might as well understand why people told them. The ability didn't fade. If anything, it got sharper, more refined. He could pick out lies from across a lecture hall now. Could distinguish between conscious deception and unconscious self-delusion. He made few friends, dated occasionally, kept people at arm's length because getting close meant feeling every small lie that relationships were built on. I'm fine. It's not you, it's me. I'll call you. This is going somewhere. All lies. All spikes. All proof that human connection was built on a foundation of acceptable deception. Dylan started wondering if that was actually okay. If maybe lies served a purpose. If maybe the truth was overrated. But every time he tried to embrace that philosophy, his own lies spiked harder. His body refusing to accept what his mind was trying to rationalize. Agent Wilson called again when Dylan turned 18. Still interested in the close call unit? No. Your ability is wasted in civilian life. It's wasted everywhere, including with you. How so? Because you don't actually care about helping people. You care about building a team of useful tools. And you're lying every time you say otherwise. Silence on the other end. Then, you're not wrong. But the work still matters. Maybe, but I'm not interested in being used. Not by you. Not by anyone. Dylan hung up. He deleted Wilson's number. Changed his own. Made sure the FBI couldn't find him easily. Because he'd learned something important over the past 2 years. The ability to detect lies didn't make you special. It made you alone. It didn't make you wise. It made you cynical. And it didn't make life better. It just made it harder to pretend things were okay. Dylan Hart is 19 now. 3 years since the ability manifested. 3 years of hearing every lie. Feeling every deception. Knowing the truth when everyone around him was performing. He still can't turn it off. Still feels the spikes. His own lies down his spine. Others' lies in his chest. He's learned to live with it. Sort of. He works part-time at a bookstore. Quiet job. Minimal human interaction. The lies are manageable there. Just small ones. I'll buy this next time. I'm just browsing. I love reading. He sees a therapist. Dr. Ma still. She doesn't believe in the ability. Still thinks it's trauma manifesting. But she's honest about her skepticism now. And Dylan appreciates that more than false acceptance. He talks to his mother once a week. His father once a month. The divorce is finalized. They're both dating other people. Both lying about being happy. Dylan doesn't call them out anymore. Just accepts that this is who they are. Who everyone is. Maya texts sometimes. She's doing well at Berkeley. Studying computer science. Honoring her brother by finishing what he started. She asks Dylan how he's doing. He always says fine. The spike tells him he's lying. But Maya's too far away to feel it. Some lies are necessary. Some deceptions are merciful. Some truths are too heavy to share. Dylan Hart can sense every lie. Including his own. He knows when he's being dishonest. Knows when he's pretending. Knows when he tells himself things will get better. The ability was supposed to be about truth. About seeing through deception. About knowing what was real. But the real curse isn't detecting lies. It's realizing that truth doesn't make anything better. It just makes you aware of how broken everything is. Dylan can sense every lie. But he still doesn't know what to do with that knowledge. So he keeps going. Day by day. Lie by lie. His own and everyone else's. Living in a world where everyone performs honesty. And he's the only one who knows the show is fake. Some days he wishes the ability would go away. Most days he just wishes he could lie to himself convincingly. But the static won't let him. It never does.